Okay, thanks for joining me again. We're getting into my favorite exercises in the Schlossberg now, number 36 and 37, and following in the section which he calls intervals, the second section. I really like these. I find them very, very useful, and I hope that you do too. Everything we've done up to this point has been kind of a prelude to these exercises. At least that's the way it seems to me. And when I do them, I'm working on the basic sound production things that we've just been talking about before. I'm using sing, buzz, play. I'm adding different kinds of articulation and doing variations with dynamics, and you'll see that. So today I just want to give you an introduction and point out a couple of things that you may be wondering about as you're watching these videos, or as you're watching other players demonstrate. First of all, we're all unique individuals, so don't think that you're going to look like I do when you play. Hopefully you'll look a lot better. But it's not about doing what another person does. It's about figuring out what works for you in order to play in the most natural way possible and produce the most beautiful musical results possible. So again, reminder, everything we do should be thought of as playing a piece, as playing a song, one of my colleagues says, and I totally agree with that. So today we're going to look at 36, and I'm not going to spend too much time because I'm going to come back to this later, or maybe I will spend too much time, but as I look at the clock I see I only have a few minutes before I have to get ready to go into town. So I don't want to rush you and I don't want to rush myself here, but we'll do what we can. So this is a continuous slur, and all we're doing is an expanding interval exercise. If you put two of these together, that would be number 37 in the book, and now you have what Dr. Reinhardt used to call spiders. In other words, it's you're expanding the interval in both directions. In this case, in 36, we're expanding the interval in one direction. So you have kind of like a home base. What are your goals? Smooth connection between the notes so that it feels like you're playing one continuous tone. We've worked on that a lot. Listening for the quality and the beauty in the sound. Being musically intentional. And you can do that a lot of different ways. And I'll show you some variations in terms of your musical inflection that you might find interesting. So now I'm going to lean on the lower notes. Now that's fun, and it also keeps you loose. It's a great way to practice these things. Oh, I could do it the opposite way too. Why don't I do that? That's fun for me. The Germans have a phrase, and I'm not sure how to say it in German, but the translation would be muscle joy, and that has to do with the joy of movement. The fact that when you see a young animal let out of the stall, let's say a horse, and that colt goes prancing out into the field, just so overjoyed to have the physical freedom of being able to move. That is exactly what we're trying to cultivate when we practice. And a lot of times we get into this rigid, stifling, rule-oriented, restricted, oppressive sense of I have to do this or I have to do. No. It should be like that horse let out of the stall. They can just run. You see how I'm feeling this. That's because I need to give myself the same kind of permission, and so do you. So please take a break from abusing yourself and see if you can allow yourself to have fun and enjoy. And when you're doing that, now you're getting in that learning zone where your mind is starting to open up, and you don't have to kind of protect yourself against the abuse, the oppression that we put on ourselves to try and make ourselves do stuff. There is a place for discipline, believe me. I'm glad to say that I've been given a natural gift of self-discipline, which I've also cultivated. But we're not talking about discipline now, at least not in the traditional way, as a negative connotation. We're talking about freedom. And guess what? Discipline leads to freedom, and freedom leads to the best kind of discipline. And there's enjoyment involved in it all. So I hope you're experiencing some of these things, and it's not just me going cuckoo here on these videos. I hope you could hear that that was fun. It should be fun. It should be satisfying. Now we're going to take it up a pitch level, and it's the same idea. Now I'm going to play with even sound intensity all the way through. Now you may be noticing on these videos that I'm not doing a lot of adjustment. You'll see the muscles of my face engage. When that air comes stronger, you'll see that kind of engagement. But what I'm not doing is squeezing my lips together for each note. I'm trying to maintain that freedom of vibration in that small area of the lip. If you're a trombone player, it's a larger area of your lip. If you're a tuba player, it's a even larger area of your lip, right? The mouthpiece is getting smaller and smaller as you go from tuba to trumpet. And that smaller area requires a great deal of precision. The more precise you are in terms of forming that aperture, we'll talk about these details later when we get into embouchure, discussion of the nuts and bolts of the physical stuff that goes on with the embouchure. But if you already have tasted this, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't tasted it, reach out with your senses and try and taste it. So as I did that, I'm basically maintaining the same delicate, soft setup. And when I do that, then I can change range very, very easily because I'm not squeezing, choking, pressing, and pushing with the air with my face or with the mouthpiece on my face. Now, of course, you might say, well, good for you. But what I'm telling you is all these things are developed. I developed these skills through practicing these kinds of exercises. And as I said in the beginning, this is a fun process for me. So that's what we're going to continue to work on and go deeper and deeper into like the how do I do that thing. That's what these exercises are, is a place where you can practice the disciplining and training your body so that it operates as a beautifully balanced machine, as Herbert Clark used to say, the great machine. And the better tuned and the better your machine is trained and made fit for operating, the more fun it is to play music. And that's what we're looking for here. We need a little joy in our lives. So this gives us a chance to do that, or this can become an instrument of torture. And we all know what that feels like, right? So I'm going to let you try some of these things, bring them into your practice. And I'll spend more time looking at these expanding interval exercises next time. But realize that the less you have to move and the more free the vibration can be, the more stable everything is, and the more the notes start to feel like they're closer together. And none of these things can be imposed. They have to be tasted and discovered, and then kind of massaged into your body until you start to enjoy the sensations and have the success that you're looking for. So go and do some of this stuff, and whatever level you're playing at, just be grateful for what you can do, because you're an expert at the trumpet. If you're looking at this video, you're probably an expert at playing the trumpet. You might not be the best player in the world, but you're probably better than your parents, unless they play trumpet too, because they might have had more opportunity to learn than you have. So go and enjoy that process, and I'll look forward to seeing you later on. Have a great day. Bye-bye.